Pay close attention, because what I am about to release into your spirit is not just motivation nor simple encouragement. This is a divine intervention. This is a moment where God pulls you out of the noise and speaks directly to the deepest part of your soul. God has given me a warning for you. Yes, a warning that someone of wealth, someone unique, someone whose presence alone carries influence and spiritual authority is about to choose you. Not because you asked, not because you pursued, not because you begged, but because God has decided your season of obscurity is over. God is moving you. God is raising you up. God is transitioning you. God is shifting you into a place where what once seemed impossible will now become inevitable. There are times in life when God doesn't wait for your permission. God just moves. God just selects. God just rearranges circumstances until you find yourself standing in a position you never could have reached by your own strength. And right now, as you hear these words, something inside you is stirring. Something is awakening, because your spirit recognizes that this is not mere human encouragement, it's a divine signal. God is preparing to connect you with someone who holds extraordinary resources, unusual access, uncommon wisdom, and rare opportunities. And God wants you to be spiritually awake so you don't sabotage what's coming. You've been walking through a season where everything felt uncertain. The path seemed narrow. The delays made you question your worth. The rejections made you wonder if God had forgotten you. But God says, I wasn't punishing you. I was preparing you. There are doors God will not let you walk through until your character is formed, your vision is purified, and your spirit is disciplined. You thought you were waiting on God, but God says, I was shaping you for a divine appointment that will not look like anything you imagined. God has whispered into your destiny something so powerful that your life cannot remain where it is. You are about to be chosen, not by accident, not by chance, but intentionally, spiritually, and strategically. This person, this wealthy, uncommon, spiritually attuned person is being prompted by God to notice you, to recognize you, to be drawn to you for reasons they cannot fully explain. God has placed your name in their spirit, your presence in their intuition, your value in their vision. They will see you and feel that you are set apart. They will hear you and sense that you carry something extraordinary. They will perceive a spiritual connection that they cannot define, because God is the one orchestrating the encounter. Let me tell you something important. When God chooses to elevate you, He doesn't consult your past. He doesn't revisit your mistakes. He doesn't care about the opinions of those who doubted you. When God says it's your time to rise, everything begins to shift. People who once overlooked you will now take notice. Opportunities that once passed you by will return. Environments that rejected you will now make room for you. This is what happens when God says, move. Your movement is not just physical, it is spiritual. God is positioning your name in the right conversations. God is moving your presence into the right environments. God is guiding your steps toward the right destiny. And God is bringing someone toward you, someone with influence and resources, but also someone with spiritual awareness, someone whose wealth is not just material but also strategic, someone who holds doors in their hands, someone who has been molded for years just to cross your path at this exact moment. You may feel unworthy, you may feel unready, but God says, I have already equipped you. I have already prepared you. I have already molded you. Every experience you've gone through, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the losses, the disappointments, was not by chance. It was divine training. God was shaping your humility so you would not falter under honor. God was honing your discernment so you could distinguish between a divine connection and a distraction. God was fortifying your identity so the success of another wouldn't intimidate you. The person who is coming toward you is not coming to dominate you. They are coming to affirm you. You see, God is not sending someone to save you. God is sending someone to recognize you. There is a significant difference. You don't need saving, you need affirmation. You need someone who sees what God has planted inside you. Someone who perceives your potential even when you feel invisible. Someone who feels the weight of your destiny even when you have been questioning yourself. Someone whose presence lifts you, not drains you. Someone who understands the purpose God has placed on your life. This person may appear unusual at first. They may have a background unlike anything you've encountered. They may carry traits or perspectives that seem foreign. But God says, do not judge the vessel. Discern the purpose. Wealthy individuals do not always appear as you expect. Spiritually awakened individuals do not always embody the style you anticipate. God often sends blessings disguised in unexpected forms, and only those who are spiritually alert can recognize divine appointments when they come cloaked in unfamiliar garb. Now, listen carefully. You are not being chosen because you are flawless. You are being chosen because you are in alignment. Your heart is aligned with God. Your spirit is aligned with truth. Your destiny is aligned with purpose. Your future is aligned with divine timing. You are being chosen because you endured what was meant to break you. You are being chosen because you maintained your integrity. You are being chosen because you didn't allow bitterness to consume you. You are being chosen because even in silence, even in obscurity, even in your lowest moments, you still whispered, God, I trust you. And God heard that whisper. God saw that faithfulness. God measured that dedication. That is why someone is being drawn to you, not by human attraction, but by divine direction. This connection is not emotional. It is intentional. This meeting is not coincidental. It is orchestrated. This alignment is not a fluke. It is destiny unfolding. You are moving spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Your life cannot remain where it has been. The environment that once suited you is now too small. The relationships that once nurtured you are no longer in sync. The routines that once made sense now feel out of place. That discomfort, that inner stirring, that quiet knowing that something is shifting, it is God uprooting you from your past and realigning you for the journey ahead. You may not fully understand it, but your spirit knows this truth. You are being positioned for greater things. And as God moves you, know this. Not everyone is meant to accompany you. Not everyone is destined to witness the next chapter of your journey. Not everyone will grasp the calling unfolding in your life. God is pulling you away from environments that drained your soul. God is distancing you from people who were too familiar with your potential to truly respect it. God is breaking the chains of cycles that kept you stuck. When God raises you up, isolation often precedes manifestation. You may feel like you're losing people, losing comfort, losing stability. But God says you're not losing. You're transitioning. This is why God gave me a warning for you. Because when this influential, unusual, spiritually attuned person enters your life, those around you will start to whisper. They'll question your worth. They'll doubt your readiness. They'll assume you're unqualified. But God says, let them talk. Those who never celebrated you when you were unseen do not have the right to speak when God makes you visible. Those who were silent during your struggles cannot be trusted to interpret your rise. They don't understand your process, so they cannot grasp your promotion. Don't try to explain yourself. Don't try to justify God's choices. The moment you begin apologizing for your blessings is the moment you begin shrinking your spirit to fit into places God is trying to pull you out of. You weren't made to live small. You weren't meant to stay unnoticed. You were never meant to linger in the shadows. There is a calling on your life that demands visibility. There is a purpose within you that requires support. There is a destiny ahead of you that needs divine alignment. And this person, this unique, influential person who is coming toward you, this one God is sending, will not come to belittle you. They won't come to judge you. They won't come to control you. They will see you, truly see you. Your spirit will resonate with theirs. Your purpose will align with theirs. Your inner strength will match their outer confidence. They have been prepared by God to lift you, not diminish you. They have been shaped to guide you into new spaces, not drag you back to old ones. They have been tempered in the fire of their own challenges, so they can bear the weight of your calling with reverence. You must ready your spirit. You must adjust your mindset. God does not want you stepping into this new season carrying the insecurities of the past. God doesn't want you bringing self-doubt into rooms meant for confidence. God doesn't want you shrinking your voice when He is about to amplify your influence. The person God is bringing into your life isn't intimidated by your calling. They are drawn to it. They sense the divine mark on your life. They recognize the supernatural weight you carry. They see the quiet authority God has placed within you. Don't fear the magnitude of this connection. God would not send someone this prepared if you weren't ready. God would not align you with someone this influential if your time hadn't arrived. This is your moment of divine intersection. Two paths that have been shaped separately are now being led to merge. Two journeys that were once unfamiliar are now being rearranged to unite. God does not orchestrate such moments lightly. This is the unfolding of destiny. You must grasp a profound truth. Wealthy doesn't only refer to money. Wealthy means an abundance of influence, wisdom, discipline, spiritual capacity, and leadership. The wealth God is bringing into your life is multifaceted. This individual carries something you currently lack, and God will use that to build you up. But you also carry something they need, and God will use you to sharpen them. This relationship will be mutual, balanced, spiritually attuned, and purpose-driven. This is why it will feel unfamiliar, because you have never met someone who reflects your calling on such a deep level. You've never had someone recognize your worth so swiftly. You've never had someone sense your destiny so clearly. You may feel unready, but God says, this is your season of harvest. You planted in tears. You watered in silence. You endured through the storms. Now you will build in blessing. And even now, as you listen, you are moving. Your spirit is awakening. Your mind is expanding. Your heart is coming alive. The old version of you is shedding like old skin. The new version of you is emerging with clarity, confidence, and spiritual authority. Your steps are being ordered by God. Your environment is shifting. Your opportunities are multiplying. Nothing in your life will stay the same. Every part of you is aligning with God's divine plan. Do not resist this change. Do not fight the unfamiliar. Do not hold on to the comfort of what's past. The past was not your destination, it was your training ground. God used it to teach you discipline, humility, resilience, and spiritual discernment. But now the lessons are over. A new chapter is beginning. A new environment is calling your name. A new season is unfolding before you. God is not waiting for you to move. God is moving you. You can feel it. You've been feeling it for weeks, the spiritual pressure, the quiet tension, the sense that something is approaching. That feeling is not anxiety, it's alignment. That is not confusion, it's confirmation. That stirring inside of you is destiny knocking at the door of your spirit. It is God whispering, prepare. You are about to be seen. This person God is sending, this wealthy, uncommon, divinely chosen individual, will bring answers to prayers you were too afraid to voice. You prayed for help quietly. You cried for clarity in private. You hoped for support in silence. And God says, I heard every whisper. Some blessings are too great to be delivered casually. Some answers require divine timing. Some breakthroughs require spiritual preparation. You are not merely entering a new season, you're stepping into a new dimension, a realm of honor, a realm of influence, a realm of acceleration. That's why this person is coming. They are part of the divine vehicle God is using to move you forward. Your story is about to speed up. Your influence is about to expand. Your environment is about to transform. God is pulling you out of obscurity and placing you in spaces where your voice will matter, where your presence will be valued, where your destiny will be nurtured. When God begins to move you, the shift is never gentle. It is firm, purposeful, undeniable. God does not whisper change. God announces it deep within your spirit long before it appears in your external circumstances. You sense the shift before it becomes visible. And that is what has been happening inside you recently. Your spirit has been signaling a transformation that your mind has yet to fully comprehend. That's why nothing feels right anymore. That's why old habits now feel empty. That's why conversations that once brought you joy now leave you feeling empty. God is clearing out your surroundings to prepare for what is ahead. And what is ahead is not ordinary. What is ahead is divinely ordained. What is ahead carries heavenly significance. You are about to meet someone whose presence challenges your beliefs, whose steadiness soothes your anxieties, whose clarity sharpens your perception. This person has been through trials you know nothing about. God has seasoned them with wisdom, refined them through adversity, and positioned them to guide you through a transition you cannot face alone. They hold keys to doors you couldn't open by yourself, keys to opportunities, keys to direction, keys to divine strategy. Do not mistake this. God is not sending someone to control your destiny. God is sending someone to align with it. You are not being overshadowed. You are being uplifted. You are not being replaced. You are being strengthened. You are not being diminished. You are being expanded. This connection is evidence that your spiritual maturity has increased. God does not associate elevation with immaturity. God only aligns the prepared with the powerful. You have been prepared through confusion. You have been prepared through silence. You have been prepared through unforeseen setbacks that stripped away the people and places you once relied on. Those losses were not punishments, they were protections. God removed what could not sustain your future. God broke the cycles that would have undermined your calling. God closed doors that were too narrow for your destiny. But now, because you persevered, because you kept your spirit grounded, God is bringing a new type of connection, one full of honor, stability, and divine timing. This unique, influential person being drawn toward you carries something essential for your next season. They come with resources God entrusted to them, not for their own comfort, but for your benefit. They possess spiritual sensitivity because God shaped them for encounters that demand discernment. They carry influence because God elevated them to be a bridge for those chosen by God. And do not overlook this. You are being chosen because God has trust in you. God trusts your integrity. God trusts your restraint. God trusts your humility. God trusts your discipline. God trusts that you will rise with purpose, not bow to opportunity. Many seek elevation but lack the heart to sustain it. Their character crumbles under pressure. Their spirit buckles under attention. Their identity becomes tainted by influence. But God has seen you endure storms that have hardened others. God has seen you grow while others shrank. God has witnessed you surrender when others resisted. This connection, this divine alignment, is not about romance, dependency, or validation. It is about destiny. It is about the unfolding of a chapter that requires partnership. Even the most significant assignments need the right environment to thrive. Even the most gifted individuals need the right support to grow. God is not sending you someone to finish you. God is sending someone to help bear the weight of the calling God has placed on your life. Many desire to be chosen, but few are willing to accept the responsibility that comes with being chosen. They seek the blessing but shy away from the burden. They desire the applause but avoid the refining process. You, on the other hand, have surrendered to the journey. You allowed God to strip away your pride. You allowed God to soften your heart. You permitted God to remove your distractions. You allowed God to break you down until you were ready for His use. That's why God is moving you now. You've passed the test of time, betrayal, waiting, and isolation. And now God is about to place you where you truly belong. But hear this caution. When the door opens, walk through it. Don't hesitate. Don't disqualify yourself. Don't shrink back in fear. When God gives you access, walk with boldness. When God positions you among the influential, don't apologize for being there. God does not promote by chance. God promotes with purpose. Your arrival in new spaces is no accident. It's a decree, a divine declaration that your season of limitation has come to an end. This wealthy, uncommon person who will choose you is drawn to something deeper than your appearance, your personality, or your talents. They are drawn to the spiritual mark God placed on you long before your birth. They are drawn to the weight of your calling, the purity of your heart, and the purpose embedded within you. They don't see what you have, they see who you are. They see what you carry. They recognize the divine fingerprints on your life, and they will choose you unexpectedly without warning. Not because you sought them out, but because God positioned you. Not because you impressed them, but because God revealed you. Destiny connections don't require performance. They require alignment, and you are aligned. You may wonder, why someone wealthy? Why someone unusual? Why someone whose spirit feels unfamiliar? Because your next season demands an environment that your past couldn't provide. God is not raising you into comfort. God is elevating you into purpose. Wealth doesn't make them superior. It makes them equipped. The unusual doesn't make them dangerous. It makes them spiritually distinct. You need someone who rises above the noise of conventional thinking. Someone who sees beyond appearances. Someone who discerns the spiritual long before they evaluate the physical. And this divine movement in your life, this shift is unstoppable. You can feel it. It is rising within you like a quiet flame. It surrounds you like a divine wind. Your life is being prepared for a stage you didn't ask for, but you were made for. God is sharpening your discernment. God is expanding your capacity. God is amplifying your influence. And every unseen preparation is about to manifest in a visible way. Soon, you will look back at this season of discomfort and realize it was the gateway to everything God promised. You will recognize that the loneliness was a time of pruning. The silence was a moment of realignment. The rejection was a redirection. The hiddenness was a form of protection. God concealed you because not everyone was deserving of the version of you He was shaping. When God prepares to move you, He does not merely change your surroundings. He transforms your spiritual stance. He raises your perception. He refines your discernment. He activates a new level of awareness within you. You begin to notice what you once ignored, perceive what you previously overlooked, and feel what you once dismissed. This transition is not emotional, it is spiritual. God is adjusting your inner frequency to pick up divine signals that others overlook. God is guiding your spirit to read signs, timing, and direction with precision. This is why your patience is evolving. Situations that once frustrated you now feel insignificant. Conflicts that used to stir your emotions no longer disturb your peace. God is removing reactive tendencies so that you can step into your next season with authority, not fear. You are not being shaped merely to survive, you are being molded to lead. God requires your spirit to be anchored, your mind firm, and your emotions under control, because what He is about to release into your life cannot be carried by a broken version of you. And this person who is coming, this wealthy, unusual, spiritually awake individual, will immediately recognize that stability in you. God has trained them to identify spiritual maturity, to honor integrity, to sense the authenticity of someone who's gone through the fire and come out purified, not hardened. They are not interested in shallow connections. They are not drawn to empty words or superficial intentions. They are drawn to depth. The depth God has cultivated in you through years of molding, breaking, rebuilding, and elevating. Your depth is what draws them. Your inner growth signals your readiness. Your spiritual endurance acts as the beacon that draws this person toward you. There is something in you that God Himself created, a spiritual identity that cannot be replicated or diluted. And those destined to be aligned with you will recognize it instantly. They will feel an innate connection, as if God whispered your name into their spirit long before they encountered you. This is why God told me to warn you. Your spirit must remain alert. When God begins aligning divine connections, the enemy will attempt to send counterfeits, distractions, cloaked in praise, opportunities masked in deception, people who appear charming but lack depth. You must distinguish between who God sends and who life throws at you. The person God is bringing into your life will not confuse you. They will clarify your path. They will not drain you. They will lift you. They will not push you into turmoil. They will guide you toward purpose. Confusion does not come from God. Pressure without peace is not from God. Manipulation disguised as affection is not from God. When God sends someone, they arrive with clarity. They bring calmness. They offer direction. They bring spiritual congruence that aligns with your inner truth. Their presence will feel like a door opening, not a trap closing. It will feel like destiny unfolding, not danger approaching. And as God moves you forward, you must grasp something essential. Movement does not always look like action. Sometimes God shifts your spirit before He changes your circumstances. You may still find yourself in the same environment, but your heart no longer belongs there. Your mind no longer connects with it. Your spirit no longer thrives in it. That's how you know God has changed you. The old environment no longer matches the person you are becoming. You can feel the shift because your spirit has already entered into what's ahead. Your physical reality is just catching up to it. And the person God is preparing for you is part of that future. This person won't pull you back to where you've been. They will show you where you're heading. They won't let you fall back into old wounds. They will help you rise into purpose that is healed. They won't let you hold on to outdated fears. They will help restore the courage God placed inside you. That's why God is removing distractions from your life. You've already noticed it, the distance, the silence, and the fading of relationships that once felt permanent. Don't grieve what God is trimming away. When God removes people, it isn't rejection, it's preparation. It's God clearing the way so that the right person can enter without hindrance. You can't carry everyone into your next season if God hasn't assigned them to it. Your calling is too heavy, your purpose too significant, and your next phase too specific. God is creating space, and the person He's sending needs room. Emotional room, spiritual room, mental room. Their presence will occupy a unique place in your destiny that no one else can fill. God isn't sending them into a crowded place. He's bringing them into a prepared space, and I assure you, you will recognize them not by their appearance, not by their wealth, but by the divine signal God will activate within you. Something deep within you will say, this is right. Something in your heart will whisper, this is meant to be. Your intuition will confirm, this is God. You'll experience peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that signals divine timing. This connection is not meant to divert you from your path. It's meant to accelerate it. They aren't here to alter your identity. They're here to support your destiny. God has equipped them with what you need, just as He's equipped you with what they need. This isn't a one-way blessing. It's a shared calling. Both of you have gone through seasons of separation so you could meet at the same spiritual level. And when you do, your spirit will expand, your mind will sharpen, your vision will ignite. You will start to dream differently, think differently, and plan differently, because God is using this connection to unlock parts of your destiny that you haven't yet accessed. They will speak to your potential with clarity. not confusion. They will see your greatness even on the days when you don't see it yourself. They won't fear your growth. They will nurture it as God moves you forward. Prepare yourself to step into spaces that once intimidated you. Prepare to speak with confidence in places you once avoided. Prepare to embrace opportunities you once questioned if you were worthy of. God is stretching you because He is about to position you. God is strengthening you because He is about to elevate you. God is awakening you because He is about to reveal you. You've carried humility long enough. You've endured hiddenness long enough. You've walked in silence long enough. God is about to bring you into the light, not for vanity, but for purpose, not for applause, but for a divine mission, not for fame, but for influence that aligns with His plan. The individual God is sending into your life will be a catalyst, a divine instrument of transformation. They will not try to play God. They will point you to God. They will not replace your purpose. They will expand it. They will not overshadow your calling. They will honor it. You are being guided into a higher chapter, a more refined season, a deeper state of spiritual awareness. And God is already paving the way for you, preparing the path, the opportunities, the connections, and your spirit. You must grasp this truth. God's movement in your life does not wait for your approval, understanding, or confidence. God moves first in the unseen, and your circumstances will eventually follow. The wealthy, unique person God is sending toward you will be drawn not by chance, but by divine design. They will feel a spiritual pull toward you, a calling that cannot be explained by human logic. Their heart will recognize what your spirit has quietly carried for years, the discipline, the perseverance, the integrity, the obedience that God nurtured when no one else was watching. God has been shaping you in silence for this moment. Every struggle you faced, every setback you overcame, every disappointment you bore alone, these were not wasted moments. They were God's refining fires. They were tools used by God to craft a vessel capable of bearing both blessings and responsibility. If you had been promoted too soon, you would have faltered. If you had been exposed too early, the weight of opportunity would have overwhelmed you. But God's timing is flawless, and the person coming into your life has been placed there at the perfect time, according to God's plan. Do not underestimate the spiritual significance of this alignment. God does not connect people by chance. God connects purpose. You will not meet this person to satisfy curiosity, desires, or ego. You will meet them because God has orchestrated it as a divine appointment, a meeting where destiny recognizes destiny. They will see what you've sacrificed. They will feel what you've endured. They will acknowledge the silent victories no one else applauded. And God will move in both of your spirits to confirm that this union is purposeful, productive, and divinely intentional. As God aligns this connection, He will also align your heart. You will receive discernment to know when to step forward and when to wait. You will have clarity to recognize the difference between opportunity and distraction, between alignment and deception, between what is sent by God and what is driven by human ego. Your spirit will become a compass guided by divine wisdom. You will no longer chase what is merely convenient. You will no longer settle for mediocrity. You will no longer compromise your calling for temporary comfort. God is sharpening your wisdom so that when the right person arrives, you will recognize them instantly. God also wants you to understand the sacred responsibility of this encounter. This is not a coincidence. This is a meeting of stewardship. The person God is sending will come with resources, influence, and access that can accelerate your assignment. But these gifts are not for you to consume selfishly. They are entrusted to you to fulfill the purposes God has placed in your heart. How you respond to this moment will determine how far God can lead you in the next season. Protect your heart. Protect your vision. Protect your integrity. The enemy will try to bring distractions, temptations, and misdirection. But God has already surrounded you with a shield, a spiritual defense that will safeguard your purpose as long as you stay vigilant and obedient. Do not fear the unknown. God often sends blessings in forms we've never encountered before. They may look different, think differently, behave in unexpected ways, or have backgrounds that challenge your perceptions. This is by design. God does not want you to settle into comfort or complacency. God desires for you to recognize divine opportunities, even when they come in unexpected forms. The unfamiliarity of this person is not a warning, it's a signal. It's God's way of preparing your vision so that when the assignment begins, you can clearly see that this connection is spiritual, purposeful, and destined.